This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Brandon Andrus Green.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast Live. Are you in need of a professional investigation service that understands both facts and people? Well, one might be closer than you think. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Eric Cullen with Cullen Investigations. Eric, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing so well. We're really excited to learn all about you, your investigation work, and the way pretty much careful investigations can help bring, let's say, clarity when people are facing such complicated situations. Can you tell us about your investigation work and the kind of stuff you like to do?
Yeah. So what started as just me in 2004 has grown to I've got 8 full-time investigators now and 4 support staff. So we, through the years, we don't probably have enough time here to talk about everything that I've done. But what I have probably specialized and most known for is wrongful convictions. We were able to assist in 9 exonerations through the years. Got a few promising cases going right now. Been involved in a lot of commutation work as well. And now we are focusing on Survivors Act, which is very interesting. It's fairly new. That was passed in November 1st of 24, I believe. So anyway, but we do everything in between from what a quintessential what a lot of people stereotype a private investigator, a cheating spouse or something like that, or something, something nefarious. We do that, but we also do high-end litigation, trial preparation, again, the wrongful convictions, a lot of different things. I've yet to find a case due to the team that I have and the experts that we have access to that we can't take. I haven't had one yet. So,
Well, I'm really curious. How did you get into this type of investigation work in the first place?
So I was raised by a Tulsa police homicide detective.
Wow.
It was just kind of in my house. Definitely picked up the DNA bug there as well. My dad was a very good, well-respected detective. So really that was the launching pad for that. I wanted to be in the FBI, even though it's kind of funny. He's a local old school Tulsa cop, and the FBI and Tulsa local police didn't used to get along. They still struggle, believe it or not. But he was really upset, not upset, but that I wanted to be in the FBI. And so that was my career path. And it just didn't work out that way. I was going to go to law school. With the FBI, you need a few things, CPA, law degree, back then especially, 5 years local law enforcement. So that I was going to do one or the other. Long story short, I did not do law school or the Tulsa Police Department. I became a conductor at Union Pacific Railroad right out of college, of all things. It was just a really hard job to turn down in 1998. Excellent job, but got in there and really was not really for me, and I knew it pretty quick. So as fate would have it, and in a twist of kind of cruel irony, my best friend growing up was killed in Tulsa police custody in 2001.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And his name's Shane Michael Spencer. If any of your viewers want to look it up, it was a very high profile case due to the fact he was half Creek and half Seminole, and race was an issue. It was not a great shining moment for the Tulsa Police Department or the city of Tulsa at the time. So I investigated that case for his mother. His mother couldn't afford much at all. So I had kind of already thought, well, this is something that I'd like to do and do it. And I did. And just kind of from there, I figured out, you know what, I can actually do this. I was able to put together a case, and my dad helped me a little bit with I was, no pun intended, I was very green, but we put it together. His mother and I took us a year to find attorneys to take it, but we found two very good attorneys, Joel LaCourse and Chris Davis, who were partners at the time, very young. We both went on to have stellar careers. But it started, I think all of our careers started there. That was our first big one. And because the city of Tulsa settled for a large amount of money. It was one of the higher amounts at the time. It had to change some policies which was our main focus. That was the big win. They had to change some policies to help avoid something like that again. And then from there on, I just really started kind of stacking away the money or, saving and made a leap a few years later to this full time, which everybody thought I was just a complete maniac for doing. Because the railroad, it really is it's got like a 0.5% turnover. It's such a good job.
Wow.
That's how I got started.
Well, what are some of the myths or misconceptions people have about private investigation or professional investigation work?
I would say because it's been so glamorized through the years, as I would say it's about 100 times harder than people think.
Wow.
Yeah. And look, I have gotten into many situations through the years, retired policemen to right now I've got about half investigative journalists in my staff and half retired federal agents or policemen. And it's just a little, it's graded with a very sharp red pen. That's what I tell people. I mean, it is almost a mistake-free industry, and that is just not for everybody. And the amount of steps you have to take, you have to understand the rules of evidence. You have to understand the nuances of emotions involved. People are most of the time at their very worst when they come to my office. And then the expectations, the amount of time it takes to get the evidence that is needed, again, that will hold up in court and withstand the rules of evidence, things like that. I think that's the myth, because a lot of people, every human's born with an investigation instinct about them. Everybody can investigate something. It's just, I think it's once people get in there and see, the amount of time it takes, the nights, the weekends, thinking outside the box. There's no real rule book with this. I mean, there's some guidelines, but really, it's a total outside the box job.
People that you're most often helping, like what kind of situations usually lead them to call you? I
think maybe the best thing I could do is give you, maybe a list of cases that will come in this year or so. And that would be anywhere from, I've got like 4 high, what I call nuclear custody cases where we're investigating allegations of the parents doing really bad things when their kids are around. Won't get into the details, of course, but that's going on right now. That's keeping us very busy as we speak. Of course, that goes back to what I said earlier. It's highly emotional. I've had to learn through the years to, almost be a quasi-therapist. I've gotten a lot of tips and a lot of guidance from therapists on how to deal with these folks. So that's some of the ones that I've gotten recently. I do have a criminal defense case. I've got one, and it's a homicide, and I've got uh, uh, a case where a gentleman is defrauding his elderly, or well, allegedly, we're trying to prove he is his elderly grandfather for his estate, like filed false guardianship papers. We've got. I've got a case. I've got two or three wrongful convictions. I have one in Virginia. I have one in Maine. Just
Oh, wow.
yeah. We were featured on Dateline. Corey Atchison, Malcolm Scott, and DeMarco Carpenter case, and was June. It was 6 years ago, almost to the day. It was Juneteenth of 2020. And so they play that show quite a bit on Syndicate, and people will call me from. I get one or two cases a year from somewhere in the country where someone's seen that show. So it's kind of all over the place, which keeps it interesting at year 21. Well, I'm in year 22 now. I just never know what it's going to be. That's what I like about it. Still, it's all different,
Well, when someone's dealing with like a sensitive or complicated situation, what should they really be looking for before they start trusting someone to help them investigate it?
So it's interesting you say that, because I'm getting ready to launch another. Well, my website's up and running, but we're getting ready to add a very specific service, which is we've got a real problem with people with people don't know where to go. They don't know how to navigate the system. It's happening for the first time, which for most families, it's just a tragic incident where they need some guidance in the legal system. And I have done this long enough to know who can actually get whatever done it is in whatever area it is, if that makes sense. We have a problem, unfortunately, there's a lot of great attorneys out there, for instance. But there's also a lot of unscrupulous attorneys that will say they can do it, and again, I don't know that the intentions are bad. Maybe they think they can, but they really can't, or they can't do it at a level that these folks need, if that makes sense. And so we're getting ready to launch a service where we can guide you to whatever expert you need. We would love for people to come to us first, because you're not going to go wrong by coming to us first. We'll be able to get you with the right attorney. Maybe you don't need an attorney. Maybe you need whatever it is, from handwriting analysis to a polygrapher, to psychologists, psychiatrists. We believe we know some of the best experts in the country, and can get people right to them.
Yeah, it seems like there's so much for the general public to still be learning about this. Have you ever thought about doing your own podcasts?
Well, it's interesting enough. This will be the first time I announce this publicly.
Wow.
But I have been working on a memoir for 6 years.
Wow.
And it's in editing right now. It should be published, I'm hoping, in August to I'll just say September, because we know how these things work. It has been one of the best experiences of my life and one of the worst. It has just, I'm so glad it's done. It should have been done like 2 or 3 years ago. However, we are going to launch a podcast at the beginning of 2027. And the podcast will be out of the cases in the book.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm glad I asked that.
Yeah, me too. Good timing.
So, Eric, outside of work, what do you do for fun? I'm sure it's kind of hard to leave such difficult cases at the office.
Yeah, that's another good question. I wasn't always good at that. I had to learn the hard way and just through experience how to have a good life work balance. I do like I'm an OU football season ticket holder. I like to go to the lake. I like to travel. When I come home, I do typically leave it at the office. Sometimes, it's the nature of the beast in my business. I can't always do that. But yeah, I love hanging out with my friends. I love going on dates. I like, lead a pretty normal life. Overall, I would say. Outside of my business life is definitely not normal.
As much as possible, right?
Right. Yeah. And of course, my family. I don't, that goes without saying, but I will. Lots of family time. I've got 2 granddaughters now.
Wow.
So yeah, man. Before we got on the air. Time's flying. We're both getting old, but yep, grandbabies are here now. So
time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
So, Eric, what's one thing you want our listeners to remember about Cullen Investigations?
Just that we all, me and my team, the agency, we are in this, and I've always been in it to do the right thing, even the playing field. We will bully the bully, and we want people to have a better. We want their lives, or whatever situation they came into our office, we want it to be completely opposite as best it can when they leave, and get them on the right track. And look, we don't just say it's over. Yeah, I have become close like family with so many of my former clients. You get down in the trenches with people and that aren't related to you. And, oftentimes people that aren't related to you are doing better things for you. So again, yeah.
So other than your memoir, how can listeners learn more or get in touch with you?
Well, LinkedIn, I got on the LinkedIn train early in my career. And so everything is on my LinkedIn page. My website's very informative too, but not like LinkedIn. Just Google alone. We've done enough that's public. And if someone wants to get a hold of me though, they can go to my website, culleninvestigations.com. And we have a consult setup situation. And yeah, that's how you get to me.
Nice. Well, Eric, I really appreciate you being on the show. And we wish you and Cullen Investigations the best moving forward.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you having me, and I wish you the best with your show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnptulsa.com. That's gnptulsa.com. Or call 918-301-6356.